Okay guys, with the wall panelling, I've done the wall panelling, with the ceiling panelling, I'm trying to work out, because of the curve on the bus, this PVC ceiling panelling or wall panelling doesn't bend without breaking. I've cut some damaged pieces off one of the full lengths, and I'm using it to see how it works. So because it doesn't bend, I can't use it in this spot how I was thinking. So what I've had to do is I'm going to put some 3mm ply, which I was going to do anyway, but I've made a section of 270, which is basically the same length of this panel, and I've joined it temporarily to the bus as so on either end. And then I've done another 270 for this part up here, and then I've put on the trim which the paneling sits in, and then I've put the paneling in and I've screwed it like I've done here. I've just put a screw in either end, and I'll put another one in here when I go to do it. Actually I'll measure it out because they'll be longer than this. So, and I've pushed it into this little recess here, which is sitting in there all right actually. I might run some silicone adhesive inside this little track to keep it there just in case something moves. I don't think I'll need to, because this is going to be glued onto the back of this as well, so it shouldn't move anyway. But once I glue it on, screw it on either one, it should be fine. And that's how it looks. It looks really good. It's got a nice little silver flick in it. Let's see if I can turn the light on and give you a look. So that's a bit better, at least you can see it a little bit better. And then I've put another piece on here to see how it'll go with the little bit of curve in the bus here, but this one should be fine. I'll be all right till I get to the other side where I'll have to do the same thing as I'm doing here. So basically now I've worked out how I'm going to do this. I'm going to sheet all this section up here, and I'm going to sheet this section here. That way I can start here till I get out to this piece, and then I can do these long sections as well, because I've got to run off this section here, which I'm hoping will work out perfectly to this section here, so I can have it exactly the same on this side. But till I get to that area, I'm not going to know. But I'm quite happy with how it's looking. So I am going to have to trim up the sides, or sorry, I'm going to have to scribe the sides so I get these right here, because they're not perfect, unfortunately. This must be just a little bit off, but I guess that was going to be the case. But I've worked it out, so I'm happy with that, and now we can go ahead and start doing it. Alright, I've got the first bit of plywood up and secured and screwed off and glued, which is there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the bottom channel to go across to here, and that way I can fix that. I'm going to use these holes that I've drilled in here. I've just attached that so I can start to go off. I'll drill into the plastic where the holes are, and then I can put the plastic in there, and I'm going to put a bit of go on Blake, a bit of liquid nails on the bottom of that, so it'll hold on there, and that'll allow me to slot in my first sheet in there. So hopefully by the end of the next half hour I'll have this first sheet in. It'll probably be a bit longer actually, because I'm going to have to do a bit of cutting here and measuring up and make sure I've got it right here, because I've got to put a bit of angle on the side here as well. Well, good morning all. I'm working on putting up this plywood, so this will be what I attach the panelling to for the roof. Now the panelling's not that heavy, so it doesn't need much. So some Sika FC 11 FC Plus is what they recommended to use, so that's what I'm using. It's been tricky on these bits, of course, and this is going to be the worst one because I've got to cut this around here. I want to get it to at least midpoint, that way I can do these panels here, and then I can put the fridge back, because at the moment the fridge is over here and it's a bit of a pain. So if I can get at least this section here done, I then can worry about the rest of it once the fridge goes back in. And it's a pain because all the glue gets everywhere because it drops off the ceiling. Alright guys, the first part is up. It's glued in, screwed in, got the little edge cap on this side. Now I'm going to work out the next one after that, and then after that we'll have to work out this one as well, because once these are up I can move the fridge back. Alright guys, it's coming together nicely. I'm very happy with how it's turning out. It's a little bit of a pain trying to get around these parts. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do here. It's going to be covered by the fridge, so I might not even worry about it, but I'll have a look and see. But it's going up well. I've got the lights drilled. That was tricky trying to get that through while holding this long sheet up. And you can see the curve has come up really well. So I'm quite happy with that. You got to be careful with this stuff. If you press too hard, you can ding it. So it's a little bit touchy with it, which I've learnt. So all the spare pieces or leftover offcuts or whatever, I'm just using, if I have to do something new like drill a hole, I'll try it and see to make sure it's working fine before I go cutting it. But it's coming up amazing. Now that these 3 sheets are in, I've just got to fix up this back section here behind the fridge. I don't know what I'm going to do here yet. And then I can put the fridge back and shouldn't have to move it again, which will be nice. I can take all the covering off this part of it and we should be all good to go on this side. So anyway, that's it for today, and I'll get back to it tomorrow. Alright guys, just wanted to show you that yes, I still stuff up. I've put all this on and glued it all down, thinking that the fridge would fit under there no problems. I did this, but the fridge doesn't fit under there because I've just realised it's out further, so I'm going to have to somehow take this full section off all the way across. Now it's glued on and I don't want to stuff it up, so I've tried the multi-tool on it and it looks like it'll cut it nice and straight, so I'm going to cut it down, and fingers crossed, because I'm not ripping all the rest of it off to get this part to do it, so I'm just going to have to try and cover it up once I've done it if it's terrible. Alright guys, I've sorted it out. I had to cut a fair bit off this one piece. The multi-tool cut through it really easily, so if you take the fridge out, it's not bad. What I'll do is I'll paint behind here up the top part here and you won't really notice it. Other than that, you can't really tell anyway that I've had to do that. Of course the fridge is in the way, thank goodness. So make sure after you do a bit that you check it. I thought I was right, but I was wrong. Alright guys, so I've put some more of the plywood up and I've put the next 2 sheets up. I haven't put it on time lapse because the fridge was in the way. I've got the fridge out of the way now, so tomorrow when I come back I'll have the time lapse going so you can see how it goes up. Now I've had to put this long one because this is a full length one. This is 2.9 meters long and it was too hard to work out where to cut it. So what I've done is I've put it up there. I haven't secured it in yet, and what I'm going to do is I use my sorry, I'm not going to do it, I've done it. I use my multi-tool to cut around here, which is fine because this will all be covered by the air conditioner anyway. And it's just held in by screws at the moment, keeping it in. Now, I'm going to need Carolyn's help to do this tomorrow, because as soon as I pull it off, sure as eggs, this is going to break if I don't have it supported. So I need Carolyn out here to help me support this, so I can then glue it in and we should be fine. And then this one's done. The hardest one on this side will be the one with the speaker cable coming down. Not as many points that I have to go through on this one. So that gets me up to here. So hopefully tomorrow or Saturday I'll have this section done, and then I've got the smaller sections to do. So I'm really happy with how it's looking. It's coming up a treat, I think. When all the windows open and this is on, all this is on and the lights are on, this is just going to pop, and it's really going to look good. So I can't wait till that's done. Anyway guys, I shall catch you tomorrow. I'll just going to leave it here. I've sort of had enough today. My back's a bit sore because I've been looking up all day long. So anyway, we'll get back into tomorrow, and we're getting a step closer to finishing this ceiling. Well, good morning all. I just had Carolyn come out and help me. We had to take this one off, and I was worried it was going to break here. So Carolyn supported it while I had to trim off a little bit at the end. And then we had to glue it and then put it back in and then screw it. So thank you, darling, for your help. But it's starting to look pretty cool. So I'm going to work on this section now. I'm hoping once this section done, because it's got the curve, the rest of it's not going to be too bad. Like up here, it's pretty well straight. In the bathroom, it's pretty well straight. And it's level straight down on under the here. So the worst part should actually, no, I lie. The worst part's going to be this part here. I don't know how I'm going to do that. That wasn't very well planned out. So I'm hoping I'm just going to be able to measure, cut, and just stick it up there, because I'm not going to be able to get anything up there to hold it. So, and it won't, and it's light as anything. So if I just put some glue up underneath it and push it up, I'm hoping it will be okay. But this section here, which has got a cut piece here, you're not going to see it because it's going to be behind the air conditioner cover. I couldn't do it on this side because it was too far out. So if I had to cut it, you would have seen it. So I had to cut it this way. Next one has got a cable coming down, so I have to measure and cut that. And I'm going to have to put some more plywood on first before I do that, because the next one will come out to about here. So plywood, and then I can put the next sheet up. I'm going to do all the plywood for along here now. Okay guys, just got another issue that I've got to contend with, is where this piece comes down here, the door is too big for it. So I left a fair bit over, but I think I'm going to have to come back a bit further on this, which means I'm going to have to stick another bit of timber here and a bit more wall paneling on there, so it can bring this door back this far, so I can open it up without any trouble. Things you come across as you go along. Anyway, just another one that I've got to work a way around to fix it up. Good morning guys. The paneling I'm using is called, or is from Click On Wall. It's a PVC paneling. As you can see, it's lightweight, but it doesn't bend, so you got to be careful, otherwise you can crack it. But it looks good. It's got a little silver inlay on it. What I'm looking at doing is I've got some strip lighting to go on here, and this strip lighting will fit in this channel. The problem I have, well, it's not a problem, it's more of a question. Do you think I should just leave it like that with in there, or do you think I should buy a channeling with a diffuser on it? I mean, you probably won't, you will notice it if you look up and you'll see it, and I don't know whether it's going to look crappy or not. So my question is to you guys, what would you do? Would you just leave it straight that way, or would you buy a channeling and the diffuser and put it in that? So if you could just put it in the comments below and let me know what's the best option. And if you think it's channeling, where would be the best place that I could buy some? I'm in Australia, in Queensland, so any ideas would be wonderful. Thanks, guys. Okay, I've put in the last lot of plywood, so that gives me the last two panels, one here and one there. I'm going to put this one on now and call it a day, and I'll work on this other one tomorrow, as well as hopefully getting this done tomorrow. This section shouldn't be too bad, it's pretty straight. A couple of cuts down the corner there, which hopefully won't be too bad. Of course, as you can see, there's not much in this one that has to be taken off, and I'm just going to follow these ones, so hopefully we should be pretty easy to go for tomorrow. Famous last words, Andrew, famous last word. Okay, that piece is now in. I can't believe the difference that it's making to the bus. After seeing the ceiling the same way for so long, it's nice to see the ceiling finally going on, and it's just setting off the bus just perfectly. So really happy. Afternoon, guys. Okay, I've put this last row on. Had a little issue down the bottom, it was just a bit out, but I think I'll be able to fix it by just pushing it in. It's not perfect, but it's not that noticeable. I've got the trim in the middle. I've also put the plywood up here for along here. Either tomorrow or Monday I'll put the rest around here, and then I can do the PVC paneling from the trim down to here, which will get this whole main cabin done. Then it just leaves me the shower bathroom, or bathroom, shower toilet, and under the cabin to do. So it's coming along nicely, and I really like how it looks. You can see the difference here, how it's just dull down there. It's just nice and glossy and shiny. So once all the windows are open, this really will come up really well, and the lights are in. So I'm really happy with how it looks. You've just got to be careful with it because it dings pretty easy. So that's the only one thing about this product. It's light and pretty easy to work with, but you've just got to be careful not to ding it. So anyway, guys, that will do for today, and I'll catch you back tomorrow or Monday. Well, good morning, guys. I'll redo this video again, seeing I've just spent 2 minutes talking and the stupid camera wasn't turned on. So just the way the morning's going. So I'll go ahead and go through it again. I've had a painful morning. All right, so this trim here I had to get in. Now I couldn't do it before I put the piece up because I wouldn't be able to bend the trim into there and up the top there. So what I did is I glued it to about here so it wasn't glued down further, and then I put screws along here so it can hold it in so the glue could take. When I took the screws out this morning and went to put the trim up, glue must have squished down and I couldn't get into it. So I had to get the the multi-tool and put it up behind it and oscillate it off. So finally, that took forever. Finally got it, and then I had to glue inside the trim and at the back of the trim and get it up so it'd stay up there, but it's holding now, so that's good. Had to fiddle around with getting this part in here as well, but it's done. Then I had to get this part down here done, and this was fiddly as all heck. I don't know why. Anyway, I had to put some van sealer on first because I hadn't done it. Then I had to put the plywood on. So that's up now and ready to go. And while I was using the tape, I broke the tape. So I've got to go down and get a new tape measure today so I can measure the panels for this one, because I haven't got a long enough tape now. This is going to be a bit fiddly because I've got to do lots of cuts here. So anyway, we're getting closer to finish the main section. The bathroom shouldn't take too long. I've got to van seal it and put a piece of plywood over it, but it should be straightforward. It's just sections across, so it should be all right. All right, guys, I'm finished for the day. It was a bit of a slow day, but I got almost what I wanted to get done. I've got this one in now and glued. This one's only screwed in at the moment. It's not glued in because I want to cut out the max fan tomorrow before I glue it in. So that's ready to go, and then I can do these last two bits tomorrow and get that done. Well, good morning, guys. I'm on a bit of a time crunch today because I've got to get some stuff so I can finish this ceiling off. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to get the last few pieces cut for this section here. So let's spin you around and show you. All right, so this was the last piece I cut, and I just had it up there sitting last night, and I've cut out where the max fan goes in. I've done the neck sheet and cut out where the max fan goes in for that, so that's good. Now this section here is like this section here. I have to cut it. The easiest way I found to do this is I've just taken cuts of little pieces for the sizes I think they're going to need and just slowly worked it into it would sit and I could get it in. So that's what I've done along pretty much all the way to get them in. This one's going to be a bit of a pain. This one's all right. This is the longer one, but this one here is going to be a pain because it's so close. I might just have to do some cutting when I get it to get it in. Anyway, but that's what I've been doing. So I've just been making sure it'll fit and I can get it in all the way up, so to the end of the thing. Now this one's a bit too long, so I'm going to have to cut it off. But this last section here between here and here fits. It's just a little bit tight to get in. I'm going to struggle getting this one in too, I think. So anyway, we'll come to that when we come to that. So anyway, I'm now going to cut this piece, make sure it's right, and then I'm going to cut the whole section and see how we go. If it's right, I'll just do I'll just connect it up. Actually, no, I won't connect it up. I'll just have it right. These ones are screwed in, they're not glued in. So, because what's happening is I've got the lights that I've got to set up, and I've got to work out how I'm going to get it to come in because they're strip lights. So I've got to work out where they're going to come in, and I've got to be able to get to them. So basically, I haven't glued these in. So once I find out, I'll drill a hole through and I'll fish the cable out from here, and I'll have it sitting here so I'll be able to work on it and stuff in this section here. With this one more sheet here, this whole side or whole inside of the main section will be done, and then I can put the max fan cover over it. I can put the air conditioner cover back up. Well, good morning all. Okay, we've got back into this ceiling. I've now glued and screwed all these on. Okay, this last piece was just painful trying to get it in. Of course, there was this little section here that was popping out. I just couldn't slide in and slide out to get into the groove itself. So what I've done is I've cut this little section out there was still a bit of a pain trying to get this in, but I finally got it in. And what I've done is I've just cut this little piece here and slid it in and glued it in. But that leaves this ugly cut here. What I've done is I've cut a bit of trim piece so I can put over it. And what happens is that goes in like so, and I'll glue that on. That covers up this little bit of a crap here and sort of hides this. Once it's glued on, hopefully it'll come back and sit nicely against there. And at least it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb now. I mean, if you were to look closely, you'd see it, but there's nothing else I could do. It was the only way I could get the piece in. So once I've got that glued in, this whole section in the bus now is done. So what I'll do the rest of the day is I'm going to put the air conditioner vent back on, and I'm finally going to put my max fan vent in, cover in. It's been like that since I put it in, and so I finally get to do that. And once I've done that, I'm also going to put all the doors back in. I'm not sure, there's a gap along here. It's not a huge gap, there's got a gap along here. I was going to fill it with silicone, but once the doors go up, you're not going to see it, so I don't think I'm going to. I'll have a look once the doors go up, and if it looks a bit yuck, then I'll do it. But other than that, I'm not going to bother about it. So guys, I'm going to get stuck into putting these back on now, and then work out that door too for this one, because I've got to work out how I'm going to get this to close properly now. Anyway, more problems. We'll get around it. There you guys, here's that piece I was talking about. I've put it in now. It looks all right. I'm going to have to put some silicone in here because there's a big hole there, so I'm going to have to fill that in. But other than that, it's turned out all right. Well, good afternoon all. I'm going to end this video now because it's been going a while, so I just thought I'd give you an update on how we're going. So if you have a look behind me, you can see that this whole section of roof is done. I've put the air conditioner cover back on, I've put the lights in, I've also put our max fan cover on there, and we've also got a magnetized blackout for the max fan as well. So I'll put the link down below because Carolyn bought this, and it's pretty straightforward. You just put the magnets up behind the cover of the max fan and you tape them down, and then they magnetize onto these ones that are here. As you can see, it's nice and glossy. Not all the windows are open, so it's still a little bit dark. The lights are not on, but once everything's open, this just really pops now. I've just got to get a torque wrench to torque these up, and then I can put the cover on that, and that's done. And next video I'll show you when I've done underneath the cabin here as well, and then I'm going to start on the flooring as well, because we're going away and I want to put the seat back in. I don't want to put the seat back into I've tiled underneath the fridge, because the fridge can only come out when this seat's out. So next week I'm going to pull the fridge out and I'm going to tile under the fridge and under the seat, then we can put everything back in. Actually, I'll probably tile the whole lot actually, so while I'm doing it I'll get it all done. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. So I'll leave the details for the roofing down in the description. It's Click on Wall. They're down in Melbourne. If you're anywhere else except Melbourne, they'll only ship to you 2.9 metre lengths, and to be honest, you probably wouldn't want the bigger ones because they'd be hard to work with if they were any longer than 2.9. So I'm glad I didn't get the 5.9 ones. It would have been good to get everything in one line without any joins, but it would have been a nightmare to work with, so I'm glad I didn't. Anyway guys, once again, if you like the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe as well. And as always, I hope your build's going well, and we shall see you in the next video. Alright guys, see ya.